my thing with the whole conspiracy theories. Number one, why is conspiracy theory? Why are conspiracy theories so plentiful? You know what I'm saying? It's you don't really find it as prevalent in places where they have been under the rule of thumb of that dictator for so long. They're kind of structured in, well, of course, there's a foot on their neck, so there is that.
Like what do you mean by that?
Like when you live in, say, countries where there's a tyrant or a dictator in place, generation after generation, this is the case, right? You become accustomed. I mean, the typical human being, not those who naturally embody revolution, but the typical individual tends to be like, well, this is the system I was born into. So that conspiracy theory thinking, especially when it comes to the going-ons of a government, it's not really prevalent. It's not going to be there because they are ushered into life with the knowing that asking too many questions, well, the military will be at your door escorting you and the rest of your family out the house, and y'all not coming back.
Well,
Whereas
let me interject
America,
real quick. Let me interject real quick because I don't believe that's 100% accurate, because there's countries, there's a lot of these countries with third world countries, if you want to call them, or dictatorship countries, that their people, and they release the information about certain conspiracies. Not all, like UFOs. A lot of them release information about that. Their inner workings on like intelligence and who they killing off and this and that. Of course, they're not going to tell that, because that's high intelligence. Right. But certain things they do unveil and pull the curtain back, per se, on a lot of that stuff, and their people know about it.
You got an example?
I can give you one with UFOs, like Brazil. Brazil tells its people about the UFOs. Huh?
What's up with that? Like, I'm not hip to that. What's going on with that?
The people in Brazil and the government of Brazil have acknowledged the research and study of UFOs. You had back in the day with the Nazis, Germany. They even said that they got a lot of their technology from extraterrestrial origins. That's why I believe that when we instituted Project Blue Book and Paperclip, I believe that's why we did that and brought all those Nazi scientists to America, and that's also what started NASA. Werner von Braun was the head of NASA when he came over here. He was a Nazi rocket scientist.
Yeah, exactly. So the one who was responsible, if I'm not mistaken, for the Hiroshima atom bomb or whatever it was.
No, that was Oppenheimer, but I think he was a Nazi as well. But I'm not 100% sure about Oppenheimer's background, if he was a Nazi or not. But
he was something German, I believe.
Yeah, well, Oppenheimer is his last name. Is German. But I don't know where he came from, per se. I don't know if he was a defector from another country and came here under some kind of treaty for scientific purposes. But Werner von Braun specifically, he's the one that created our rockets to take us, quote unquote, to the moon.
To the moon. Yeah. And then see, like that right there. That's what, like, you're very aware of the new conspiracy that we've never actually even been to the moon. We made it up because other countries were trying to get there, and we just didn't want to look like we weren't significant in the space travel field. You know what I mean? Which I don't I don't have any, inside knowledge of if we actually did or did not. No, it's just the conspiracy theory. My point is the conspiracy theory, it seems to spawn. I'm trying to figure out where and why does it spawn. It's always healthy to question what people are telling you anyway. Yeah. Maybe that's where it spawns from.
Could be.
The mind who refuses to accept just what they're being told. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, my thing is with the moon. My thing with the moon is I honestly believe we did go to the moon. I don't think, I feel like we didn't go when we said we went to the moon.
Okay.
That's what, for me, that's what I think. I think we actually did eventually go to the moon. But I think that all that hoopla and hype around the first lunar landing and all that stuff, there's a lot of evidence with photos from back then that lead me to believe we may not have actually gotten there when we said we did, but maybe gotten there after the fact. You know what I mean?
Okay. So what would be the purpose of doing that? Would it not be to not look as weak in the race of space travel as other countries or something?
Yeah, well, you got to look at it. At that time, we were really in a Cold War, coming off the heels of the Cold War with Russia. Russia had already put up Sputnik, had already put up a man in the moon, but a man in orbit. We weren't even really like ready to do stuff. Then JFK put in this whole deal to get us up there to the moon, because we lost the space race. Technically, we weren't the first ones in space.
So you're saying that we weren't the first ones in space? Is that official? Is that
that is official. That is official knowledge.
Okay, because I've never heard a high government official admit that we weren't the first.
Yeah, it's all over everywhere. I can Google that shit right now. Who was the first?
I'm saying, but who said it? What representative of the United States of America came out to the public and admitted that we were not the first in space?
That's the whole thing with JFK.
Okay.
That's why he enacted the space. That's why he wanted to do the space race to get to the moon, because we lost getting to space to begin with. And the guy that got to space, his name is Yuri Gagarin.
I know that name. And I do know his story. I wasn't so sure that they were saying that he was actually the first one. Here's the thing. Now you just made me a little anxious, not nervous, but I'm like, damn, are we gonna even make it out of this motherfucker tomorrow, nigga? Did you just explain the grassy knoll incident? Because you just said did that man come out and tell on us, and they was like, oh, this nigga gotta go. You say he gonna be in Texas next week? All right. You know what I'm saying? This nigga gotta go. You know, he's shaking little black kids' hands. He talking all kind of equality shit. This nigga gotta go. You know what I'm saying?
That's kind of what I just did. All on the mic.
Yeah.
Yo, it's the ugly. I'm about to break it. Man, fuck that. Check it out. Power and momentum. Vocal bullets bring the host to your building. Same time, feed the souls of your children. Closed minds get exposed to the vision. Same time, double a sword to the throat of the serpent and kingdom. Kinda hard not to walk in the blues. Hard to walk the avenues where they ain't got no shoes. So we change the method.